So far we have our demolition, construction, and furniture layout. Now we want to start our reflected ceiling plan. Remember, when you're done with your furniture, you're gonna see some object that we don't want to see on our construction plan. For example, now that we added the furnitures, we can see the furniture here, we can see the dimension on furnitures. So anything that is not related in construction, we want to remove them from the construction. So we're gonna go back to construction plan layout, activate our viewport, and we're gonna freeze our furniture dimensions. Okay, this is our active layer, so let me change it. So freeze the dimension for furnitures, and I guess that's it. Now I deactivate my viewport. I would make a copy of this layout, and I will rename it to RCP. Okay, now I go back to construction layout, and I will freeze the all wall hatch here, because here I need to see which wall is new, which wall is existing. I'm talking about the construction plan. Now, I would open my reflected ceiling, and here I don't need to know which wall is new, which wall is existing. So I activate my viewport. However, now it's hatched, maybe it's not visible, but I would freeze these two lines that represent the new walls. So basically now I don't see any difference between the new wall and existing wall. Next step, I will freeze all the doors in reflected ceiling plan, dimension for construction, any fixtures, any built-ins. So basically now I just see my walls and even this symbol. If you have any plant, any decorative object, freeze all of them, then deactivate your viewport. And as you can see now, these information belong to construction. On reflected ceiling plan, I don't need them. So I select them all. Make sure you do not select this drawing title, and I delete them. Okay, now if I zoom in, you see there are some hidden line. So these hidden line kind of represent the bulkhead above our glass partition. And this one represent the wall cabinet. So what I'm gonna do, I activate my viewport again, and I'm going to freeze the wall cabinet and this bulkhead hidden line too. So let's set my current layer. So I freeze these layers too. Now deactivate your viewport and you go to model space. Now I would isolate furniture, custom made built-in fixtures, furnitures, toilets, sink, anything that you see it as a solid line in furniture layout. So, okay, I guess that's it. Now I'll copy them in specific distance in an empty area of my drawing. So for example, make sure ortho is on. I'm copying them 200 feet, something really far above my original drawing. Then I select them and I put them in furniture unreflected ceiling. Okay, now I unisolate because I isolate everything so I didn't see them. Okay, now I can see those. Everything should be hidden. If it's not hidden, probably it's a really small arc, or when you prepare your block, you didn't do them properly. So what I can do, I can explode them. I will explode them 2 times. Then again, I select them and I put them in furniture on reflected ceiling. So see, still there are some, see, you should do it really properly. Okay, now everything looks good, even if it's not, hidden, still it's gonna print really light. Next step, I move them back the same distance, 200 feet. Okay, now we are adding a new layer on top of our drawing. It means that if I go to my construction plan or furniture layout, I would see that new layer that I don't want to be there. So I have to go and fix the old drawing. It's really easy. You're going to activate your viewport and you're going to freeze this new layer. Okay, so that's perfect. And now there is one more thing here. See, there are some hidden line that represents the bulkhead above the door or wall cabinet. So in the construction plan, because we are looking down and those lines are above our, cutting area, we don't see them, we put them in hidden. But now that we are looking at the ceiling, we should see them as a solid. So I isolate those layer now. So now I would do the same thing. We're gonna copy them again in a specific distance, 200 feet maybe, and I unisolate again, select them all, and we have a layer called reflected ceiling. So anything that is happening on the ceiling, we can put them in that layer. So now they are in reflected ceiling. I would bring them back, select, move this time 200 feet. So if I go to construction plan, again, you see that layer that we don't need them here. Activate your viewport and freeze them. Now, if I go to my reflected ceiling, that's what we see. Anything under my cutting line is hidden because I'm looking up, and anything above, I see them as solid. Next step, I would select the reflected ceiling layer as my current layer. Don't forget you have to activate your viewport for this step. Now we're gonna see 2 lines in our door opening. If you stand in the middle of a door and you look up, you're gonna see these 2 lines. One of the reasons that we add those 2 lines is that if you have 2 rooms with 2 different ceiling height, if you don't have these 2 lines, it doesn't make sense. If this washroom is 9 feet and this hallway is 12 feet, how come that they are connected? That's why it's really important that you add those 2 lines. So I'm not wasting time with adding them. I mean, you have to add all of them. I just add a few. Now, the next step is you have to think about your ceiling design, how you want to have your ceiling. I know if you have any drop ceiling in a specific shape, you can add it there. For example, maybe I want this area to be open, but I want to have a drop ceiling above this, I don't know, dining table. So what I can do, you can just, draw that in reflected ceiling plan, and it's red and solid. If you have, for example, cove light here, I want to add a cove light in this room. So I draw a rectangle and I offset. So maybe I offset 36 or 48. Let's see how it looks like. 48. So don't forget, you have to activate your viewport to add all of these information. Okay, it should be part of our model space information. Okay, so see, I add that rectangle as a guideline, then I offset it. Now this would be my cove light. Next step, I go back to my model space. Say anything that you need to make your lighting plan, you have them in the left side of your drawing in model space. So you're gonna copy them and bring them at the bottom of your drawing. So for example, say this is what you need to make a cove light. Anywhere that the ceiling height would be different, see if I just do a section, see this line represent something like that goes to your wall, then it's going like this all the way to this one, and it's going up, and this is our ceiling, and here you have your light. So see, imagine that, I know this is our floor, this is our actual ceiling, and this is the drop ceiling. See, the solid line represent this one, the hidden line is this one. You're looking up, you see this one, you don't see that one, it's hidden, and this is our lights. So what I can do now, here I guess I offset this line 3 inch. So I would do the same thing here. I offset 3 2 times in this side. Then I can use match MA. I would match the light fixture, I mean the LED light with the middle one, and I match the hidden one with the one that is close to the wall. So this part is open, we see the higher ceiling, and whatever after this is the drop ceiling. Okay, so now let's go back to the RCP. Now I want to add my recess light. So remember, the rule to calculate the distance between the recess light is the ceiling height divided by 2. That would be the distance between each recess light. If my ceiling height is, for example, I don't know, 10 feet here and 12 feet here, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So distance between my light fixture would be 5. But remember, the one that is closer to the wall, I would use half of the 5. It would be 2 feet 6 from the wall, then 5 feet 5 feet. So I use offset 2 feet 6. Okay, so now I use this rectangle to place my recess light. So let's expand our viewport a little bit. I deactivate my viewport and I expand it like that. Okay. we're gonna use this one. I forgot to copy this one. So copy. I need this information too. So in commercial, we're gonna use the recess that has an X beside it, because that's how we show which switch control which light fixture. So I bring this one close to my drawing, then I go back to reflected ceiling. So this is what I need. I copy this from the, okay, activate your viewport, copy this from the center. I go back here and I place it here. I place one and each corner. So 2 feet 6 from the wall, and then the distance between each one would be 5. What I'm gonna do, I use this to measure what is this distance. So it's 22 feet. Actually, probably I need 4 here. So I would explode this rectangle. I use divide. I want to divide this in 4. And let me see what is the distance from here to here. Is 5 foot 8. Again, this calculation just give us an idea. It means that you cannot exactly have it 5 feet. It could be 4 feet 6, 5 foot 6, and depends on, you know, how many light you prefer to have. I would measure this one too. So this is 10 feet 11. So in this side, I would copy 1 in the midpoint. And on the other side, so see, this one is 5 foot 6. This one is something similar. So then I copy this one here too. What you can do now, we don't need to copy X. Actually, to make it easier if you just copy the actual, just, you know, recess light. So when I add in one side, you can use mirror and mirror them to the other side, or you can copy. But keep in mind, I have these two, so I don't mirror all of them. I just mirror this one, and this one. Make sure your ortho is on. And here you go. And I need one in the center. So I can just, now we don't need any more these guidelines. So we can just delete them. Remember, depends on your design. You might want to add some suspended light fixture. And in this room, probably I wouldn't put it in the center. But as an example, imagine that I want to put one suspended light in the center of this rectangle. So if the shape is symmetric, we draw one line from one corner to another corner, and we can use the center of this line. But if it's not symmetric, we can add 2, and we can use the intersection as a place to place the light fixture. So now, where is my pendant? Again, it's not here. So I expand my viewport more. So this is the pendant. So I copy this one. Grab the center of the circle. Turn off our ortho, and I place it there, and I erase that. So if you are using a specific light fixture and you know the size and shape, that's a good idea if you draw the shape of that light fixture. You know, you can use the same, you know, light fixture layer. So see, I put everything in the right layer. See, this one is light fixture. So I would make my light fixture as my current layer, and I draw the shape. For example, this is a rectangle light fixture that is 36 by